Hi, I'm Robert Henty from Powerbond Balances in Australia, and we manufacture a range of balances from OEM replacement right through to a full race SFI piece. And that's quite a unique situation because we're the only balancer manufacturer in the world that manufactures all types of balances for all applications. We manufacture the product in Australia and have done for 35 years, and pretty much as an Australian company we're very proud of what we do, and we're very proud of the fact that we can sell the product to builders throughout the United States. So going through the range, we start with an OEM replacement piece, which is actually a heavy-duty OEM replacement piece. Most harmonic balancers manufactured by car companies and by our competitors have an inserted rubber, which means the strength of the actual materials is less, but also it's more prone to spinning and to falling apart under high torque and high horsepower. Some OEM balancers will even be prone to failure in stock engines, not only because of the rubber not being of good quality, but also the casting quality that the company uses. Some of the less expensive harmonic balancers from China and India run what we call a regular grey cast iron material, which is prone to cracking, particularly in the keyways, like you see here. But in our case, we use what we call an SG or Nodzer iron, which is a much stronger cast iron and certainly much more resistant to cracking, and we have very few problems in that regard. So our OEM piece is a heavy-duty piece. It has a bonded dampening rubber rather than an inserted rubber, so it's much more resistant to spinning and to falling apart under any sort of stress. The next balance that we have in our range, which is really designed for the speedway claimer motor market, but is also an excellent piece for a high-performance street engine, is what we call our claimer balancer. It actually has the name on it. But this balancer has an SG iron hub and ring, and it has a bonded rubber. It has what we call a low pressure, fast bond rubber, but it is a very strong bond between the rubber and the metal. It's a molecular bond rather than a glue bond that some companies use, and it's extremely resistant to spinning. It's about 4 times stronger in press apart strength than an inserted piece, but it's a very well-priced balancer. So hence we call it a claimer balancer, because it's very popular with the speedway fraternity who are using one of the claimer motors, where they have to keep the price of components quite low. The next part that we manufacture is what we call a street performance balancer, and this uses a different rubber bonding process. This uses a very high strength, which we call a high pressure slow cure bond, and this has 10 times the push apart strength of a well inserted OEM harmonic balancer. So it has tremendously high resistance to the torque forces that a high performance engine will generate, and it has tremendous resistance to any push apart. We can actually support this balancer in a press, and we can give it 10-ton vertical pressure, and you will not press this balancer apart, which in the case of an OEM replacement piece it would probably press apart at around about a ton. So it's a very strong piece, and it's used a lot in what we call late model stock class racing, where they have to run a factory style harmonic balancer. It looks like a factory piece, but it's much more resistant to spinning and to falling apart, as they tend to do in an OEM piece. So an excellent part for any high performance street engine, and at a price point that pretty much any engine builder can afford. When we get into race type applications, there is a requirement, of course, for an SFI approved part, which has certain safety features which the SFI require for racing. Each balancer comes with a unique serial number, which is presented on an SFI card, and the serial number is also laser etched onto the harmonic balancer. So it's a bit like an aircraft component. Everything has a traceable unique part number. The parts are made of much stronger materials. In the case of the street balancer I just showed you, it is an SG iron cast material. These are actually made from forged steel. So you have a forged steel hub and ring. The weight of the balancer is concentrated into the inertia ring, so it gives much better dampening performance, but you still have the strength in the hub with the forged steel. This has the high pressure slow cure bonding process again for tremendous resistance to spinning. It's a very strong piece, both in material and in the bonding strength of the rubber, and it comes with a very attractive finish. It comes with 360-degree timing marks, as you see here, and it comes with a three-step coating process. It's an etch primer with a 2-pack clear coat over the top for really good appearance and also for long-term resistance to rusting. So we have a range of these covering every popular performance application, from your common or garden variety Chevs and Fords to Pontiacs and small block Chryslers, etc., big block Chryslers. But also one area of the market that we're very strong in is in the late model performance engines such as your LS1, Chevrolet and also Chrysler, Hemi, etc. We were one of the originators of the underdrive balancer systems for these engines. We've been selling them for a lot of years in Australia and in the Middle East and the USA. And this is our most popular part, which is a 25% underdrive unit for the LS family of engines. We do it for LS1, we do it for every engine right up to the truck motors, the L92 truck motors as well. By using a smaller diameter balancer, you reduce the parasitic losses from the belt system on the engine, the serpentine belts, and you end up with a part that will produce some more horsepower, but also has less inertia resistance, so it'll actually spin the engine out quicker. So it's a very popular modification on the late model engines. These are an SFI piece, so they can be used in racing. They're a forged steel hub and ring with a bonded rubber, but also, as I said, they're an underdrive system, and you can buy this as an individual component on its own, or as what we call a power pulley kit, which comes with a set of very good quality Goodyear high performance gator back belts of the right length, and also a set of our heavy duty idler pulleys. So you can change out the full front of the drive system on the motor when you go to the underdrive balancer. We also do a range of overdrive supercharger balancers for the LS engines, which is a new product for us, and we also do supercharger balancers with twin key fitment for the earlier Chevrolet small blocks and big blocks. So that's a short overview of our range. As I say, it covers everything from if you want to change your factory balancer on your engine to something that's quite a bit better, right through to a full race balancer and a high performance system for a late model serpentine drive engine.